Hey everybody, welcome to the Chapter 4 Math Quiz Review. So we're going to go ahead and walk through each of these answers for you. So number one, it says consider the graph. And so we've got our graph, our line here. And it says part A, find the y-intercept and the slope of the line. So if you like to highlight things, we need to find two things. We need to find the y-intercept. Okay, and we need to find the slope. There's two things we have to do there. Okay, so the y-intercept is where we cross the y-axis. That's that vertical line right here. And you can see the point is 0, 6 where we cross it. So that's our y-intercept, 0, 6. Now the slope of your line is the rise over the run. It's a number. Okay, so we have to figure this number out. So let's go ahead and try to get from one point to the other. How do we get from here to here going up and down, left and right? So I'm going to get up to the same level, which is here. And there's my run. So I go up and right. My line is going uphill, so my slope should be positive. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is positive 6. And my run is 1, 2, 3, positive 3. So my slope is m equals 6, rise over 3, which is 2, 6/3. You need to simplify that out. 6/3 is 2. So in part B, you're putting it all together. They say determine the equation. You got to write an equation. So it's got to have an equal sign, and it does right here. The answer should be in y equals mx plus b form. Fill in the blanks to the equation. Well, y equals your slope. 2 times x, 2x, mx, plus your b value, which is 6. And that's it for question 1 there. That's what they were asking you to do. In question 2, it says look at the graph below. Another line. The points aren't labeled this time. Which equation represents the line of the graph? It's multiple choice. Okay, so all 4 slopes are positive. Okay, so the first distinguishing thing I should look at is the y-intercept, the vertical. So I'm going, and here it is right here. Just because I have a dotted point here or here, that's not the y-intercept. Those are just points on your line. So my y-intercept is 1, 2, 3, 0, negative 3. You can see that 0, negative 3. So the y-intercept is negative. Remember, in the mx plus b form, the number multiplied to the x is your slope. The other number, the constant we call it, is the y-intercept. Positive and positive, so that means a and c are gone right off the bat because the y-intercept has to be negative. So just like in number 1, we're going to get to the slope. I'm going to go my rise, so I got to look here. My rise goes all the way up to 5. And my run. I go up and right, another positive slope. So count. Each tick mark is worth 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, positive 8. To the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my slope is 8 over 6. It's not there. But these are both even. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 4/3 is our slope. And we have a 3/4 and a 4/3 and both negative y-intercepts. There's our answer, part D. So D is the solution there. Number 3 gave a lot of people a headache. It says find the slope of the line that passes through the points below. So imagine if these 2 points were actually these. You're performing the rise and run. Okay? But there's a different way to do it if you just have the ordered pairs. You could graph them, or we could use the hint that I gave you. So the first thing I want to do is label my points x1, y1, x2, y2, y sub 2. My first ordered pair and my second. And now it's a matter of substitution. My slope is equal to y2, in this case is negative 6, minus, right, y2 minus y1. My y1 value is 1, divided by x2, which is 11, minus, so x sub 2 minus x sub 1. 4. So negative 6 minus 1 is negative 7. 11 minus 4 is 7. When you divide the numbers, 2 numbers that have opposite signs, your answer has to be negative. So 7 divided by 7 is 1, so this has to be negative 1 because the signs are different. There's the slope of your line. All right, this one. Find the slope of each line below. There were three slopes here, A, B, and C, so you have to distinguish them. So we can start with maybe C first. So I'm going to just highlight this. Try to use a couple different highlighters. So we're going to start with C. Okay? My job is to pick a couple points on the line. I usually look for where the box is that we hit the corners, like right there, we hit a corner, and maybe right here at the end we hit that corner. So let's perform the rise and the run. How much do I go up? Well, I only have to go up one, right? None of the tick marks are labeled. So in class, I told you to go by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And many of you just put the Y-intercept down, but that's not the slope. So from here, I go up one, and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's my slope. Up one, over 5. There was my slope of C. My slope of, let's look at B now. B line right there. So we'll go slope B. Again, pick out 2 points. Here's one in the corner. And look, here's one in the corner too. Up one. Whoops, I'm sorry, I didn't get to. So point in the corner, point in the corner. So look, up one, over one. Up one, over one. That slope is 1 over 1, which is just 1. So that one's done. Let's see if I've got one more highlighter here. I don't. It doesn't look like I do. So maybe we'll do this one in red. A is going to be in red. There we go. And let's pick out 2 spot points in line. Here's one right here. See where it crosses the box? That line hits that corner of the box. And look, one right there too. So let's just use those 2. Any points on the line will be sufficient. So look, I go up 1, 2, over 1. 2 and 1, that slope is 2 over 1, which is 2. So there's our, I'll just circle that in red there. That's what you had to do. And it was the same thing we did in 1 and 2, finding slopes of lines. It just so happened there was 3 there. This one it was really tough on you guys. Draw the following. I need a line with slope of 3 and a line with slope of 1/2. So if you look at both of them, both are positive. So that means they need to be uphill. Uphill, just like all 3 of those were above. These were all positive slopes, uphill. So I need a slope of 3. Okay, I can draw a point anywhere I want. Let me just put one right here. Doesn't matter. I need a slope of 3. So if your slope in A is 3, that means it's 3 over 1. Rise and run. So I'm going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3 over 1. And there's my line with a slope of 3. That is it. Looks like I don't have any rulers. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that line just like this. There's a slope of 3. Let's pick another one. Slope of 1/2. Let's just do this. I'll just put a line there. Point there, excuse me. So slope of 1/2, m equals 1/2. That's a rise of 1 and a run of 2. So go up 1, over 1, 2. It's not as steep. Notice if you look at the steepness of each line. So there's my slope of 3. There's my slope of 1/2. And I'm done with that one. That's it. You get to pick the points anywhere, you guys. Okay? So hopefully that helps. And now we're looking at number 6. So graph each equation below. These are all in slope-intercept form except for the last one. Slope-intercept form. So we know the slope. Remember, that's the number being multiplied to x and our y-intercept. Our y-intercept here is 3, so I'm going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 3. Keeps doing that. 0, 3, right there. My slope is -2. This line has to be downhill. So I'm going to go down 2, right? We can put this over 1, rise and run. I'm going to go down 2, 1, 2, and over 1. And there's my line. Make sure you draw your line in. It doesn't have to be 100% straight. Look, mine's curvy. I'm looking at those 2 points is what I'm looking at. Second one, y equals 2 over 2/3 x minus 1. So if I want to identify my slope, it's 2/3. It's positive. And my y-intercept is 0, -1. You can do that. So 0, -1 is right here. Up 2 over 3. Rise and run. Up 2, 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3. And there's my second line. x equals 4, when you have it something like that, there's no slope. It's vertical. It's a vertical line. Remember, we had slanted lines. We have negative slope. We have positive slope. We have zero slope. And we have undefined slope. This is an undefined slope. X equals 4 no matter what. There's x equals 4. And you draw your vertical line. That's it. That is it. Okay. The bonus problem I stuck here. The point 3, 4 and x5 lie in the same line. Find if the slope is 1, what is the value of x? Well, you have 3, 4, and so one of the ways you can do this is just simply keep plugging in all these values and finding slopes. Okay, so the slope m equals y2 minus y sub 1, and I gave you this hint on number 3, x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So y2, we got to label points, x1, y1, x2, y2, because I wrote them down that way. So 5, y2, minus y sub 1, 4, over x minus 3, and that equals